Welcome back to the Quiet Millionaire, where we don't chase wealth, we regulate into it. Ever notice how even rest feels like failure? Ever feel like slowing down is more terrifying than burning out? Ever wonder why urgency still runs your mornings, even when you know better? Maybe you wake up to your phone vibrating by your bed, inbox already crowded, calendar stacked so tight you can barely sit with your coffee before the race starts. You might step into your kitchen, planning to take 5 minutes for yourself, and partway through, you're already running mental calculations, bills, projects, who's waiting on your reply. Even when you're away from work, it follows you. Or by mid-afternoon, that old rule in your head kicks in again. If you're not pushing, someone else is getting ahead. If you're not filling every gap, you're falling behind. It's not just pressure. It's scarcity dressed up as discipline. That's the nervous system trap today. We're not talking mindset. We're addressing what's underneath your money behavior. There's a cost to running like this. It doesn't just wear down your willpower or drain your day. It hollows your ability to trust yourself. Your body gets used to being on, wired, ready, even long after you're tired. Over time, rest starts to feel unsafe, and work becomes the only way to stay ahead of fear. Here's what most people miss. Wealth isn't measured by the number of targets you hit. It's measured by how deeply your body trusts your pace. If every day is a chase, know whenever feels safe to enjoy. Let that land. If you've been at this for years, stacking achievements, but still wondering why it never feels like enough, you already know what I'm describing. When you push just to keep anxiety away, you tell your nervous system that money is always something you hunt, never something that can arrive and stay. So you build with tension. You sacrifice calm for speed. You call it ambition, but it's really a survival pattern. That's the discipline, and it has a cost. Here's what I want you to try. This isn't theory. This is your nervous system adapting. Slow your evening, just one time this week, before you reach for your phone. Notice what your mind tells you about slowing and ask yourself, is this the truth or just old noise? Real shifts start with noticing. There are 3 quiet shifts that help you build inner safety, so wealth can stay. They're not hacks, they're reminders seasoned by stillness. As we walk through them, you'll hear echoes of your own story. The nights you traded rest for guilt, or the mornings you feared letting go meant losing it all. We'll address those calmly, because those fears aren't truth. They're remnants of how to had to survive, not how to have to. Build now, stay with me. Here's the sabotage pattern. For most of us, wealth building got paired with survival, not satisfaction. You probably started out with those quiet promises. Once the account hits a certain number, once this launch is over, I'll breathe. I'll allow myself a morning that doesn't start with phone in hand, inbox up, adrenaline on tap. But watch what happens. We land the client. The number comes. The job title shifts, but the motor doesn't. The system's still running hot. So we do it again. You've normalized burnout, called it progress, not because you're careless, but because your body never got told the hunt is over. There's a constant ledger open, and your worth feels tied to visible output, needing to fill every slot with a meeting, saying yes before thinking, scrolling financial dashboards late at night, looking for some kind of score, a sign that you're safe. Look at your calendar, the space that should signal freedom, vacations, weekends, off days, gets filled or circled with guilt. You check Slack at dinner. You keep your phone on in the shower because a real entrepreneur doesn't miss a call. If you step away for a day, you apologize, as if the absence itself is a threat to your spot in line. Here's where most people get stuck, financially. This chronic bracing becomes overspending on courses, apps, and tools, searching for micro edges, but never trusting your own cycles. It shows up as chasing revenue spikes instead of building steady, boring foundations, or letting celebration last 2 minutes before turning celebration into the next stress test. What now? What's next? Money comes in, but it's never a signal to rest. It only asks you to prove you can do it again. The nervous system. Let's flip this. Most people think the next income goal will finally land the feeling of security, but Stuck in a pattern. Earning to prove is survival mode. It's a quiet fight behind your bank login. Did I do enough? Did they notice the extra? Each sale is secretly a test. This is more than a thought pattern, it's a full-body loop. Your jaw tightens, you scan for validation, and resting feels unsafe. You know that cycle. It's why paydays don't really feel like wins. Let that land. Supporting energy is different. Imagine earning as stewardship, not to say I am enough, but to support what matters. Your needs, your boundaries, the people you choose to serve. It's steadier. It feels like structure, not scrambling. The nervous system recognizes, I have what I need. Now I build what's next. This is where you begin to reclaim quiet authority in your work. Think of a farmer. He doesn't tear up the field every morning, desperate for faster growth. He trusts the soil, works the seasons, and lets yield build over time. When he respects the field, the land becomes richer year after year. Your nervous system is that soil. Most entrepreneurs are overtilling for quick results, burning out their capacity instead of building it. That's the cost of proving. If this shows up in your weak pause there, try this. Picture the way you maintain a car. If you drive hard and skip every oil change, you get short bursts of speed, but the engine degrades. Support-based earning is regular maintenance. It's consistent fuel, scheduled tune-ups, longer engine life. That's why it compounds quietly. There's nothing dramatic. But you go further. In practice, this could mean declining stressful projects even when they pay high, because urgency costs more than it pays, or keeping a steady, smaller client base so your energy isn't spent firefighting. Earning to support lets you pause. After getting paid, shoulders loosen, breath deepens, wealth starts to feel safer, not just bigger. That's the discipline. Most people don't rest. They pause when forced. That's not the same thing. When all you know is push hard, without stopping, rest feels like losing your edge. What it isn't loss, it's actual discipline. Collapse is what happens when your system finally overrides your will. If you've ever lost a week to burnout or made yourself sick during a launch, you know the signal. You didn't choose rest, so your body chose it for you. Let that land. Athletes already understand this. They don't get stronger by ignoring recovery. The lift is only half the equation. It's structured, strategic, downtime calculated, repeatable, that builds real capacity. That's how to trade panic for durability inside your own life. This isn't a fix, it's a frame. Your wealth can't compound if you repeatedly reset to zero. The world trains you to link output with income, but durable systems reward those who stay in the game over decades. You have to stop making capacity the enemy and anchor chosen rest as the asset. Slow down, not because you're weak, because you don't want collapse to make choices for you. Here's where most people get stuck. They only pause once they've made mistakes. Overpaying for software. In a rush, taking on a client just to fill a gap. Signing deals without stepping away for perspective. Start building micro pauses. Eyes off the screen between tasks. A controlled, slow inhale after a hard meeting, and then a complete exhale before responding. These aren't rituals. They are direct signals to your nervous system you can recover and still belong here. Let me ground this even further. Say you're considering investing in a new marketing system. Old pattern. You buy on impulse because the sales page stirs urgency. Rested pattern. You slow down. Step away for 24 hours. Maybe run the numbers again with fresh eyes. The next day, you notice missing fees, or maybe realize it's a feature you already have. That pause just saved you thousands and more. Importantly, most people walk through their day with money looming in front of them like a heavily locked door. Every email, every negotiation, filtered through, will this get me enough? The number in the bank is treated as a judge, cold, absolute, deciding who's safe, who's valid, who's allowed to want. That's the old lens. It keeps you moving fast and tight, like you're sprinting toward a finish line that never appears. Try this instead. Money is a reflection, not a verdict. It magnifies the state you live in, not the other way around. If you're tense, desperate, tight, your money habits jitter. You underprice. You overrespond. You spin impulsively to quiet the discomfort, but it comes back. If you hold still, slow your breathing, let your nervous system anchor, the mirror shows ease. Choices grow deliberate. Growth compounds quietly. Negotiation feels like a long, even pull, not a light switch. Let that land. Here is what I want you to try. Picture your internal state like the frame around a bathroom mirror. If the frame is steady, the reflection stays clear, no matter what happens outside. The mirror doesn't care if you slept badly or feel behind. It just shows you back to yourself. Money is the same. If you make your internal state the project, the distortion drops away. Suddenly, any spike or crash in your numbers doesn't throw you out of alignment. You regulate, then decide. This isn't a fix. It's a frame. If you manage a team and cash flow is unpredictable, the old pattern is clamped down. Push marketing, add pressure calls. You try to control the numbers. Flip it. One client noticed when she regulated her response, didn't chase, didn't embrace. She held price on a deal instead of discounting to close the gap. The deal closed on her terms, not out of her tension. That's the discipline. If this shows up in your week, pause there. Over time, this is what gets built. Stability inside, clarity outside. Your nervous system leads. The mirror follows. The number doesn't rule you, it reflects you. Nothing dramatic, just order restored. You've built around proving, around sprinting, around chasing safety that never seems to land. Today, that's done. Those 3 shifts earn into support, resting before collapse. Letting money show you, not gatekeep you, aren't optional. They're the base layer, so your nervous system stops fighting what you say you want. This is about structure that holds, not speed that burns. It looks simple, but most people never step out of the loop. You already know this. Here is what I want you to try. Don't treat your new rhythm like advice. Treat it like air. Structure your week to hold what matters. Let rest be fuel. Stop using output to chase relief and watch what stays and what falls away. These are not mottos, they rate behaviors. I produce value, but I am not defined by it. I rest to sustain, not to escape. My mood and my money rise together or stall together. Simplicity holds my wealth, not complication. I am a better steward when I am calm, when I feel safe in my body. Money feels safe with me. Let that land. Quiet wealth is built on capacity. Quiet wealth is built on capacity. Quiet wealth is built on capacity.